Unknown vessel, please respond.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
Those Crimson Fleet goons never stood a chance. I'm not sure if we would have made it out of there without your help. Any way we can repay you?
Oh yeah, no, you are not looking good.
Of course. Thanks again for the help. UC out.
Okay, so my oh no. Okay, no, we're not to this yet. Because I cannot talk about this character. Because this character basically, I just made him, he was just born yesterday. So, character from my dreams. In fact, it is actually one of my very first dreams that I had a dream journal for. And like, it was this, I don't know, there was a pit, a dark pit that was like, it was raining, it was storming, and there's just like this like terrifying just like well, okay, there's like a terrifying not terrifying, that's not the right word, but this disturbed, like, I don't know, I wrote it down as a Lopunny / Cinderace. Like, imagine if you depicted either of those relatively friendly looking Pokemon, imagine if you rendered them in the style of Slenderman, and that's kind of the vibe. And so I made that into a character. Actually, I really like how he turned out. I really like how he turned out, actually. He's tall, and this is a detail I might just totally forget. He's black and white, and has gray eyes. He's got... and honestly, I was just going with the design, and I wasn't thinking too hard. He, has long, Lopunny-like ears. And he's got, like, gauge piercings in both of them. And I decided to make that part of his motif. I drew him with, like, you know, regular clothes. And he's like a bartender. Kind of, well, he is a ghost. Was a ghost who has been given a body. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, so he also has a hole in his chest where his heart should be. I mean, kind of Tony Stark-like, but I do want it to just be a hole straight through him. How exactly... I mean, is he a cyborg? No. I don't know. I haven't, like, thought too much about it, but that's, again, this whole sort of motif where, like, I don't know, I was like, oh, you know what would be cool? What if... Just drawing some accessories and stuff for him, and it's like, what if he had a pocket watch that had... And, you know, I mean, again, he's, like, sort of a bartender. I mean, there's bartenders wear a lot of clothing, but I mean, like, smartly dressed, you know, slacks, slacks, a shirt, a button-up shirt, a vest, very sleek fit, We'll go for this thing, whatever this is. No, we will not. A tie, a vest, his shirt is ripped at the sleeves. He has those little belts that hold his shirt on his biceps, and I think it might be the elbows, or it's what it's supposed to be. I don't know. There's room for a little bit of adapting, but yeah. Sorry. Yeah, they're oh yeah, sorry. So his accessories, and I mentioned before, I don't necessarily want, I mean, like, if I were to make this thing an entire comic series, I wouldn't want it to be, like, super action-filled. Everybody's, like, every other day, everybody's going off to war. It's not really the vibe I want to go for. But okay, first I made a pocket watch, and that pocket watch has a, it's like a hubless wheel. So instead of having a central, axis pivot that the, hour hand and second hand, rotate on, it's, a hub. Which still has a small hand and a little hand, but there's just a giant hole through the middle of the pocket watch. And then I was like, it'd be really funny. Like, I don't want this guy. And obviously, again, like, smartly dressed, kind of classy, also kind of antique because he is a ghost. So, I designed a, like, pseudo Tommy gun, but with a drum mag. But the drum mag has a giant hole in the middle of it. So it's basically just, I mean, I guess it's more of a donut magazine, I guess you could call it. Which, I mean, would still be effective, just, kind of weird. Well, I don't know. It would be huge, but it would also be relatively lightweight compared to it. It probably wouldn't have the same capacity, but it would probably, I don't know. It probably might be okay. Anyway. Anyway. Yeah, so, I don't know. The one thing I'm terrified of, well, okay, is there anything else I can actually really say about him without spoiling anything? I don't know. Again, I don't know too much about exactly where I want to go with him, but I mean, like, the entire little comic, or short story, pre-comic thing I wrote was, like, a lot of dialogue. It's fine. It's just like, well, I don't know, we'll see. Because it's also going to be a little bit of, like, I mean, he's a bartender, he wants to hear people out. And also he's like, I guess part of the thing is that he's kind of creepy, he's kind of off-putting, but he's also charismatic, and he doesn't necessarily mean... He doesn't mean bad. He also doesn't necessarily mean well. Like, at the end of the day, his goals are mostly... mostly around self-discovery and trying to meet people to get their perspectives and then use those perspectives to have some self-reflection. 'Cause as a ghost in my mind and in my universe, in my canon, ghosts don't keep their memories. They might be able to technically hold on to their memories for a short amount of time, but at the end of the day, like, that's just material, and the soul is just the feeling, the emotion, and the driving force that decides, that forms an opinion on the on those memories. And yeah, that's my thought on it anyway. I could go and change that idea, but also I don't think I probably will. So, well, I should also say that so his physical form is based off of he has an encounter with Rylu. He tries to possess Rylu, and then he gets taken out of Rylu's body, and while inside and trying to possess Rylu, they have a conversation, and then the form that he takes is the form that Rylu sees him. Did I mention his name is Gordai? Gordai. Yes. Not Gordai. Although I do think that is hilarious. It's Gordai. I actually had a whole thing where I thought the reason I paused was because Rylu could be pronounced Raylu if you wanted to. There are places that or cultures or languages that would pronounce it Raylu. It's Rylu, and I needed to keep that thing consistent within my naming thing. So it's, and Gorday is a cool thing. So again, in my naming matrix thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, I did not realize that this biome was complete. How is it complete? Wasn't there two? Okay. I guess that's fine. Gorday would be Gordae. And also, if you hear me talking about the naming conventions or the naming structure that I use, and you're like, this sounds like a pain in the ass, yes, I'm a cheeky ass bastard. And it's making things unnecessarily difficult. I think honestly, I do think it's more memorable. I was thinking about one of my characters, Velvet, who, honestly, I was like, I actually really kind of wanted to change her name to Velvy. Just because I think, honestly, not associating it with the other word velvet, I think would be better, but I'm gonna keep it velvet, but yeah. But yeah, sorry, so Gordai's form is based off of Rylu's interpretation of his soul, or interpretation, the manifestation of his soul in Rylu's mind palace, whatever you want to call it. So, like, I don't know, there's a whole angle, there's a whole potential angle for like a romance thing there. That's not gonna happen, but also I'm just realizing that that's totally a thing that could happen. Should happen? No. I don't think Gordai would ever get, like, actually kinky. That doesn't seem... I don't know, maybe he would. Seems like he wouldn't care about that. Well... Yeah, I don't know. I'm also a little terrified at the idea, but also interested at the idea, because I feel like I have a little bit of creator's block. And, like, the idea of just basing everything off of my dreams seems cool, but also... And I've got a lot of dreams to work off of. That's why you should keep a dream journal. At least if you're creative. But also, I need to be able to proactively come up with things as well. But I also have just a lot of things I need to work off of, so... Yeah, until next time, have a good day, great day even. Chowskis.